Good evening, Canada, from our platform of our weekly talk show, Voice of Canada. We are back this week with a brand new episode. Your host, Asphandiar Wadiwalla, my charming co-host, Cindy Young, and we have a very dynamic speaker, Danny Singh, who I have known since last 15 to 16 years.
That's right.
In my age, and he's a dynamic guy, a community activist, and recently he put his foot down to win the councillor election from Ward 5, but due to major conspiracy, he lost. So anyhow, I wish him all the best for his future luck. Before we start a recording of question and answers, we have a sad news to inform our viewers from the team of Voice of Canada that our dear Cindy Young lost her beloved father last month. We condole Cindy and her whole family, and we wish for his eternal soul rest in heavenly peace. And we strongly stand with Cindy.
Thank you so much for your condolences. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
So, Danny, introduce yourself with your name and just your name to our viewers.
Sure. My name is Danny Singh. I'm a longtime born and raised Mississauga resident and a member of politics since 2003, since high school days, basically.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. And I'm Cindy Young. I'm your co-host for this evening for the weekly talk show, Voice of Canada. And a very warm welcome to you. It's wonderful to have you here. So, Danny, as you were born in Mississauga 37 years ago, so we now said your age, inform us and our viewers about your early life.
My early life, I was always a community person. My parents got me involved at a very young age to volunteer. So when high school time came around and you needed 40 hours, that was nothing. That was like, I'm already doing this.
Already doing
it. More than that.
Basically.
Basically. Socially also, you are very upfront and you have really good rapport with the people.
Thank my parents for that.
You're a people's person.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I hope so. I hope so. So yeah, that's where I started basically. And I've always been a community person. And wherever I live, wherever my foot lands, I'm very highly interested in and invested. People. Exactly, of course.
And you are a born Canadian.
That's right.
Oh, lovely.
That's right.
So you are more a Canadian.
No, of course.
Okay, Danny. Recently, you put your foot down to contest Ward 5 election, and I'm openly again stating the fact that you was the most deserving candidate to win the councillor for Ward 5, Mississauga. But unfortunately, I'm again repeating, I'm not rubbing things again and again. Due to conspiracy, you lost. That is my conclusion.
Okay.
You're not making, I'm giving a conclusion of mine. And I was quite disappointed when I got the result because the person who has won, maybe she's dynamic or suitable, but nobody knows her. I never heard her name even prior to this elections.
What can I tell you? You know what? Sometimes interference happens. And in my case, I was winning. And the proof's in the pudding. The results came out 2 days after election. And I won the advanced polls. I was leading there. And the former mayor who got involved, and by the way, went on national television, and she said she has not endorsed anyone. She's not going to be endorsing anyone. Complete lie.
It was a full lie.
She did a full drop on the ward. Then on top of that, she did a phone blast to all residents in Ward 5 on Sunday before the election. And then a rolling robo-blast on Monday. Wow. So a roll, for those of you who don't understand that. Yeah, it was pre-planned for sure to destroy me, and she succeeded, unfortunately. But that's just politics and learning. And it's just sad because I ran 8 campaigns and I've won all of them except for my own. So a little embarrassing, but I guess going up against a former mayor.
You have done a wonderful job, and whoever knows you, they know you did your best, but you were made to lose.
Yeah, you can say that. But you're going to cry over spoiled milk.
And let me tell you, even I've got confirmed reports that she even put her hands in the mayoral election.
Yes.
And she was pushing a candidate very hard and fast, very strongly, but she could not make it.
That we all know.
That guy did not make it. He made up to a second position, but he could not make up to the mayor.
Right.
Because Caroline Parrish had more goodwill, and she finally won the elections.
That's right.
Am I right?
I'm thankful for that.
Right.
So there's a lot of politics for sure. So Danny, as you have the longest experience in serving the people of Ward 5 over the last 18 years, that's a lot of years, as you were associated with our former MP, parliamentary secretary for many, many years.
Yes.
And later you worked hard for the same Ward 5 in the office of Caroline Parrish. who is now our mayor of Mississauga.
Mayor-elect.
Yeah, mayor-elect.
Yes.
That's right. So if you can inform us and our viewers your long experience in Ward 5.
So, based on my volunteering, again, back to volunteering, that councillor, her name was Eve Adams, she hired me. She took a risk, and she would tell you that too, because it was hard to find loyal staff back in the day. And she took a risk and hired me at 17. My birthday was the following
He
month.
was a young guy.
Really young.
Yeah.
We used to go to the office and we used to always meet him only.
That's right.
There was nobody.
You're working on your own.
Well, if Ashley ever calls, you get me in the phone. That's for sure.
Yes.
No, even during the events, I used to see him only.
Yes.
It's good. A great experience for you, though.
I was right hand for
Amazing.
for 3 politicians.
Yeah.
But Eve took a risk on me and she hired me in 2006.
She's a wonderful, wonderful person and a great friend. You know how close I was. I've never missed a single event she had organized.
Yes, that's true. And I'm glad I had a part in that, and my hands involved in that. And she basically gave me that jump start into politics, working in political office.
No, she was a wonderful person.
Yes.
Her boy,
Give you that
plus
stepping stone.
hubby,
Yeah,
all
she
were
did,
a
definitely.
wonderful family, I would
She
say.
is.
Nice.
Okay, Danny, as we all are aware, that our third tier of our government, which is a municipal local government, is a non-political, non-partisan. But then why? A few political personalities, they jump, even the parties, they jump into this and really create a mess. What steps we should take in future?
That's a lovely question.
Can you suggest?
That's a very loaded question.
No, just suggest when you're thinking. We want to know your opinion. Yes, future some law should be made that any dignitaries from any political party intervenes into the local elections. That will be action.
You know, I don't know if you can do that, to be honest with you. I don't think you can. In my case, it was very political for self-interest. Bonnie Crombie, as you know, is the leader of the Ontario Liberal Party. And the person that she backed in the Ward 5 race, it was a former vice president of the Ontario Liberal Party.
Yeah.
Now, we know where Bonnie Crombie is right now. She is a third party with no official party status. So she's going to need all the help in the world.
Mess. Remember that.
Yeah.
Currently, she's in a bad mess.
Definitely.
And if she loses one more elections, by election,
yes,
the forward bloc will ask her to step down.
That's right.
Remember that. Every
right.
party has a forward bloc in
course.
political parties.
Of course.
Yeah.
And so should they. But in that case, she got involved because I'm assuming that she's going to need help in Mississauga. And with someone on council, another Liberal, like the person she assisted, they will be extremely loyal to her because that's the only reason why they won. That's why they're there. So that's what happened here exactly. Moving forward to prevent something like this, anyone who has self-interest, we can't prevent it. They're going to do what they want to do. Right?
Definitely.
So,
it's a free country. We live in a very
exactly.
free country.
And we fought for those freedoms, so I don't think you can get involved in that. But the people should wake up. People who don't understand the political system and who are not too political but vote because they feel it's their civic duty, more awareness on that sense. And this should be a learning lesson for many. That
it's an eye-opener for many.
For sure.
Your losing was really
for sure.
an eye-opener.
Yeah.
The maximum councillors from Mississauga supported you openly, freely, the
yes.
strong ones.
That's right.
The dummies I'm not talking about. There are 2 or 3 dummies also. But the strong ones, they all supported you.
Well, they are who they are. I won't use those words or those contexts of people because a little different than that, but yeah.
Anyhow, the law should come into effect that third tier should be left alone from politics. It's a political.
Yeah, well, in the States they do.
There is no harm.
Yeah, if you're a mayor in the States, you're either a Democratic, Republican, or Independent.
Yeah.
So
then there is
maybe
no
it's
harm
time you
with the
just do that.
political parties. Anybody can jump in. But when the body is non-political, then the political people jumping, the parties jumping is not.
Right. And back to that.
It's against the ethics of politics.
Well, back to that point, for a long time you had Hazel McCallion, who never claimed what party she was with, but she supported all of them, basically.
She supported.
Whoever she thought was right for the city,
supported.
She supported.
Because part of her time is long tenure. She even supported liberals.
Yes.
And then she even supported our conservatives.
Of course.
As the time came.
Right.
Yes.
So she was a fair, balanced person.
Yes.
She has. But in this case, Bonnie was different. She was a very political liberal mayor. And it was sad because you have the provincial government who is progressive conservative. And everywhere they went, she attacked them, even when they ran for re-election. Now, she's a mayor of Mississauga. And if we're all independents here, she's supposed to stay out and butt out of it. But she got involved. So what happened? Well, the province cut her downtown loop. in Mississauga. Gee, I wonder why. You have a mayor attacking you daily, and you're at all the Liberals' office openings for their local MPP candidates, and you think that the province will not shut you out or shut Mississauga out. So we paid the price for that, unfortunately, because she's a very political person. The city was not in her best interest. It was for herself.
She's a self-interested person.
And she has been. That's right.
She has been.
That's right.
And over-ambitious.
Yeah.
Which one day it will bring her down.
Yes.
Mark my words.
Well, what goes up always comes down.
Always comes down. You're correct. Okay, go ahead.
Danny, we researched the agenda or manifesto that you gave for the residents of Ward 5, and it was a stable one. If you can please inform our viewers your whole agenda.
Okay, well, it was an ambitious agenda and things I know that we could accomplish based on my 9.5 years working in Ward 5 with Councilor Parish. It was a bit more senior focus. In my opinion, Brampton's a bit more proactive when it comes to our seniors. They have free bus fares now for seniors.
Yes.
They have free recreation program for seniors.
Yes.
That was so outstanding.
Those were amazing things they
Amazing things they did. And I was camping very hard on that because Ward 5 has a large senior base.
Demographics are very different, which we'll be talking a little later about all the demographics.
Right. Well, in terms of the seniors, my platform, I focus on 3 main things. So the dollar bus fares, we brought it in 2015. Again, Bonnie Crombie fought very hard against that. And I don't know why. But we got that passed in 2015. So the seniors were very thankful for that. We want to make that free. I know Mayor-elect Parish is going to work on that. So I'm thankful that someone got elected that will push that through.
And we hope, because even Mayor Brown is a very outstanding guy,
Yes.
known to us for several years, since the time he was MP in Delhi.
He's just a good person.
He's a good person and he's a people's person.
That's right.
Yes, he's
so
very good.
he has done a lot for Brampton, which Mayor Bonnie Crombie could never even dream of doing for Mississauga.
That was a problem. She just focused on the attention. She wanted the attention for herself. So when someone else is a little bit better than you, instead of rolling with it, she just got upset about it.
And she even caters to her own liked people.
Yeah.
You won't get an interview or an appointment with her. I tried very fiercely for 3 times.
Yes.
But to put on record, I tried and tried and tried, and then I spoke to the federal people.
Well, part of the reason she won't meet with you is because you're a conservative and you're openly conservative.
But this woman has come. Let me tell you, during Stephen Harper's dinner, this same lady wearing a blue coat and coming into our function.
Yep, that's
Prime Ministers.
That's what she does.
And everybody said, Bonnie, have you gone blue? I've got all the colors in my clothes.
Yes.
This was the reply.
That's her comment, because when Doug Ford won majority government in 2018, the following day was Italian flag raising at Celebration Square. And there she showed up with her blue outfit with Michael Tabolo. And the same question was asked to her.
So that means what to say now?
Right.
She changes color every day.
Exactly. But back to the seniors. So the dollar bus fares I want to make free for seniors. The recreation programs, I want to make it free for seniors here. And the biggest thing of all was when I was door knocking, or even the past 5 years when I was working in Ward 5, a lot of seniors are forced out of their homes. And the property taxes are very high.
Reason to property taxes, not payment of property.
No, that's right.
So the city can eject the persons out?
Well,
the banks and the mortgage companies
the banks and mortgage can do that. And the city can eventually sell your home if you have backdated taxes. But what I was looking at, and it was my idea, the education portion of their property taxes, if the province won't look at adjusting it for seniors, I would have asked the council to look at rebating that portion on the property taxes for seniors in Mississauga to keep them longer in their homes.
Denny, as you are aware that I was also associated with Ward 5 since a long time of Eve Adams.
Yes.
So I did a lot of door knocking also, and I've discussed lots of issues what Ward 5 was facing. And I still recall she had told me, Gaspil, when she took over, there was no fire brigade also. They used to get the fire brigade from a nearby Mississauga, some other ward.
Right.
Then you all did not have a community hall time.
That's right.
Because Ward 5 is a very complex ward, which is the largest among the 11 wards.
Yes.
And so many communities are mixed and they are based over there. It is really hard to manage Ward 5. And for that, I always said in my statements that Ward 5 should have an independent councillor. The rest can be shared by You know,
just a
because now
bigger
the time
area?
has come.
Huge.
We are demanding that there should be 6 councillors, not more than 6. When Toronto with Etobicoke and Scarborough can manage in 25 councillors, why can't Mississauga can operate with 6 councillors, 5 on a sharing basis, and 1 Ward 5 independent?
Yeah, that's a question for the province. So
No, province
can't
will
answer
listen now.
that, yes.
We appeal to Paul Calandra, who is the Minister for Housing, that he should look into this. It's an old demand from the people of Mississauga, hard up people of Mississauga, that we should reduce our council and get those revenue and funds, which some councillors which have gone redundant are just misusing the tax money. Go ahead.
So Danny, you did talk a lot about, in part of your agenda, you are a very compassionate young man who is, really going out there for the people. And you talked about the seniors and the dollar bus fare. If you got elected for Ward 5 councillor, what are some of the other things that you would be pushing for and wanting to change?
Well, we just built a brand new youth hub in Malton. It's a
Nice.
world-class hub. For those who have not visited or seen it, I encourage you to book a visit and go take a look. There's nothing in the GTA that compares to that.
Wow.
The work involved there, and Carolyn did a lot of work on this. Again, when she went to council for this, Bonnie fought her. And I think a little jealousy, to be honest with you. Bonnie was our councillor for 2.5 years and did 0 in Ward 5. She did nothing at all in Ward 5. And she was just jealous. And it's the same thing going back to Patrick Brown. Patrick Brown got attention because he's a people person. So Bonnie didn't like anyone that had more attention than her. So we faced that working alongside with her at City Hall, and it was unfortunate because then the people suffer. But Carolyn worked very hard to find the money. She was short $1 million, but a private donor, someone she knew personally, saw how hard she worked on this project, and it was almost dead. But she made that call, and the money came in the next day, basically.
She has achieved. She is a woman
she did a
who
lot
achieved
there.
results, because I recall about the incidents at Food Bank, Eden Food Bank,
Yes,
where nobody was giving the fresh milk.
Yes.
that's right.
This Caroline Parrish was the person who could arrange 40 to 50 bags of
Oh,
4.5
wow.
liters
Right.
daily
Yeah.
for infants and seniors.
That's right. And
Since
because
that day, I really salute this woman.
yeah.
When she wants to work, she really works hard.
Very
Well, for
needed.
people who don't know her, let me tell you, I worked for her. She does not sleep. It's not a 9-to-5 job. Her mind's always working. And if there's anyone ever in need, she's the first one out there to help them. And some people don't like that because they feel like you're interfering with their wars or whatnot. But to me, it's human. It's human, right?
Yes.
It's a human issue.
And
If
she's
someone's
an-
in need, there's no boundaries when it comes to human issues.
No, absolutely.
Right?
She's a politician. She has also experience of a member of parliament in
Yes,
Ottawa.
that's
So
right.
it's a great experience. And now again, she's going to be the mayor. She will do very well.
That's amazing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Very nice.
But back to that point, though, the Malton Youth Hub, I wanted to ensure that was properly funded, because just because it's built doesn't mean there's other expenses that will come along it. I know the city's very tight for cash, so I just hope that they will be funded. The kids up there really need it. I know crime went down, petty crime went down in Malton, because there's a safe space for them now.
That's amazing.
223 students are fed free breakfast every morning
Very
now
good.
in
Wow.
Malton.
And that's the most
Because of the
deserving
breakfast
ward to
program.
do that.
That's absolutely
this
amazing.
program.
This is all thanks to Carolyn Parrish.
Oh, wow. Good.
And I was so thankful and so honored to have a hand in that, including her annual event
That's
that
a
she
very
does.
good news our viewers will be hearing from you,
Yes.
because we have issues of breakfast.
Yes.
Children
Yes.
cannot afford to bring breakfast.
Yes.
That's right.
Because
Yes.
I am also associated with Peel School Board District.
Mhm.
So when I visit and I see during lunchtime that some children, they don't have breakfast.
It's a real issue.
And when you
It is
go
a
deep
real issue.
inside and ask the small child,
Yes.
says, my mama forgot to give me.
Yes.
But then the teacher tells you, okay, no, they can't afford
They
to
can't
serve
afford
it.
to.
It's
So
a real
then
issue.
we are in the school arranges the breakfast of
And we have to
pizza,
do everything
slice,
to help them.
the
Yeah.
juice, and an apple.
That's right.
You know, that's a
Absolutely.
standard rule. Okay, we immediately inform the office and the
Mhm.
child doesn't go hungry.
Danny, in your agenda, you also stated that you will turn Grand Highland Golf Course into a public park. Is that golf course closed currently?
Yes. So it was a private golf course
Okay.
that went bankrupt.
Mhm.
And the people behind who actually are adjacent to that home, their homes are adjacent to that golf course, were freaking out because a potential buyer who wanted to buy the golf course wanted to develop it.
Of course, yes.
And of course, all the backlash from the community were upset and whatnot. So we went back to 2 years back and forth with that until Carolyn's like, you know what? We can always use green space. So let's look at purchasing this land. So
and that was purchased?
It was
city
purchased. The city
wow.
does own it
the
now.
City
Wow.
purchased it.
That's right. The city owns it now.
Amazing.
And everyone in Ward 5 in that area knows that I answer those calls. And I told you there's no way in hell that was happening. Because I live in the area. I do live in Ward 5. And I do live in Bristol, right where that golf course is. So there was no way we're developing that. So now we own it. Now it's a new councillor's project now.
So what she's going to turn into, the golf course will be turned into a park?
It should be an outdoor
public
green
park.
space.
Outdoor public park.
Yeah, green space for people.
That is a very good. That's very good.
That's right.
If a golf course can be converted to a park.
Absolutely.
For health purposes of the citizens.
And enjoyed by the community. And,
of course.
And get maybe a little bit.
Okay, Danny, our major issue is housing in the province, especially in Ontario. And nowadays, though, I was shocked to hear that now about 63% Canadians in Ontario, they are renting. They are forced to rent. And so many house owners, they had to sell their houses because they could not afford to pay the monthly mortgage due to high bank interest rates. So what Ontario is doing and what is happening in Ward 5, which is the rather improvised ward among the other 11.
Okay. So housing, as you know, is not really a municipal issue. It's more of a provincial and federal issue. And I can tell you, everyone promised housing on a campaign. Again, I'm very honest with you. It's not really a city issue. Yes, we can look at red tape and cutting that on our end for permits and issuing them. But you have to look at immigration. And almost 9 out of 10 doors I knocked, they were like, why is the Prime Minister bringing so many people here when our own people here do not have homes? It's a simple question. And that needs to be asked. And we should actually have, the discussion with him and our local MPs who are all up for re-election very soon and ask them, what's their policy on this immigration status we have here right now?
Danny, unfortunately, due to some hitch in the production, we'll have to conclude our today's show.
No worries.
But I fully assure you, I would like to call you back and may do a trouble of coming back, which we apologize to you.
No worries.
You saw what happened in front of you. Whatever we promised, whatever we were doing it, but sometimes unforeseen circumstances force you to conclude. So we are concluding today's show, which is nearly a half, and we will soon call Danny Singh back in our show once again. So with that note, we would like to say to our viewers, good night, goodbye, God bless Canada, God save the King. Adios.